Hey everyone, we're back from the FanStands. Today in our show, in addition to our usual panelists Dayan and Musil, we have a very special guest with us today, Nausherwan Effendi. He's the president of Pak Reds Pakistan, the official Liverpool supporter fan club in Pakistan. In addition, he is the CCO at Peshawar Zalmi. Welcome to the show, Nausherwan.
Thank you, Ji. Thank you for having me.
Glad you could take out time to join us. Tell us a bit about yourself and Pak Reds for our fans.
Pretty much it was there in the introduction. Pak Reds started in 2013. जब यहाँ पर इतना concept था नहीं fan clubs का और streamings का. I think तब इतनी T20 matches भी नहीं होते थे. तो I knew how football should be watched, like the group of friends, the pop culture and the singing and everything. So we wanted to introduce something like that. And also what we also wanted to do was कि पाकिस्तान की ना positive image है. 9/11 अभी recently हुआ था. तो हम चाहते थे कि पाकिस्तान में से कुछ positive image जाए और एक किस्म का bridge हम लोग बने. At least if not to the world, but at least to Liverpool. So I was in Dubai at that time when I came back in Pakistan along with Shahid Bhatwi and Raheel from Karachi. We started watching the games together. I think the first game that we ever screened was United versus Liverpool, जिसमें Kaut ने hat-trick की थी. So that was our first screening, and it was a good start off with. So
you're off the mark as a Liverpool fan already.
So we started off from a Facebook page, और उसमें फिर हम लोगों ने क्या किया, because I used to work for a venture capital firm in Dubai, so I knew how to set up an organization. So we had people from Lahore, Karachi, Islamabad, जो Liverpool fans. उस टाइम पे एक ही तो मिलता था हर शहर के अंदर, ज़्यादा होते नहीं थे. तो कर इनको इकट्ठा किया, and then we started watching games together. We set up a hierarchy, how to make it a self-sufficient organization. उसके बाद फिर we realized कि दुनिया में एक official supporters branches जैसी चीज होती भी है, हमें नहीं पता था, हमने तो वैसे ही करना था वो. And then Liverpool got in touch और उन लोगों ने हमें ना एक लेटर भेजा कि यार ये चीजें आप लोग करें तो हम आपको official status दे देंगे. अब वो सारी चीजें हम लोगों ने already कर ली थी. We had people who looked after the finances. We were already registered with as an NGO. We were already doing something for charity. Nothing, we were not making money out of it. जो भी हम तो free में चीजें देते थे लोगों को, because हम लोग वैसे, because like you're fans of football in Pakistan, you'll always be outnumbered by United fans and other club fans, especially because Liverpool was not doing well at that time.
Yeah, I think a lot of people became Liverpool fans because of the Champions League win. Before that, most of them didn't even exist.
No, certainly, as in Liverpool fans, they're very old fans, obviously. And जो भी recent, obviously there's been a wave, but other than that, if you look at other fan bases as well, clubs like Liverpool, obviously it's a very well celebrated club and a very famous club in the world. It's a club with a lot of legacy. So the fan base is pretty concrete as compared to probably if you talk about Manchester United, although I didn't want to put that.
I think Champions League wala factor was not a huge factor. Agreed. Because it's not like we won the Champions League and then we kept on winning for the next 3 years or 4 years.
Agreed.
It was a one-off game. And when we played AC Milan, I think they were the best team at that time.
100%.
तो उस टाइम पे भी ज़्यादा मिलान के फैंस होंगे कि क्रिस्पो भी है, शिवचेंको भी है, पिर्लो भी है, माल्डिनी भी है, काकू भी है. तो फैंस उसी के ही थे. We were just underdogs who beat them. So it's not like कि हमारे फैंस उसके बाद बढ़ गए. हाँ, अब वो हो सकता है. अब जो एक किस्म की dominance आई है लिवरपूल की, now you may attract the sort of fans that we dreaded for all these years. We never wanted 100%. The fans that we might attract now, but more the merrier.
यार ऐसा तो नहीं कहो यार, हमारे पास तो है. लेकिन one very interesting thing that I'd want to pick out from your conversation, obviously, because you done something that's very commendable. As in, it was something probably agar if I go back probably 5 years even. So having supporters clubs in Pakistan and वो भी football के supporter clubs होना, it was sort of a myth down here कि लोग ये सोचते थे कि as in having a self-sustainable organization, a club with a supporters club with an organizational structure that people couldn't think of it. In fact, लोगों को तो ये नहीं समझ आती कि भाई उसकी utility क्या है. So point is that when you were going through the whole journey, my question is, as in being in Pakistan, do you think कि पाकिस्तान को अब obviously आप लोग develop कर रहे हैं interest, but then उस time पे भी पाकिस्तान में already एक followership थी tangible किस्म की फुटबॉल की, या और वो बहुत बिखरी हुई थी और नजर नहीं आती थी, या तो बिल्कुल ही नहीं थी, और अब इन recent times जो है केबल नेटवर्क थोड़ा बेहतर हुआ है हमारा, तो एक्सपोजर बढ़ा है उसकी वजह से, या फिर आईपीटीवीज शुरू हुए हैं उसकी वजह से एक्सपोजर ज्यादा हुआ है, या फिर वो जो पूरा एक वेव ऑफ डिजिटाइजेशन जो है ये उस वजह से थोड़ा ज्यादा बढ़ना शुरू हुआ है. तो वेयर डू यू सी दैट लाइन कि अभी तक है पाकिस्तान में बहुत पुरानी फॉलोअरशिप भी, एंड अगर है भी तो वो एलिटिस में सिर्फ या फिर मैसेज में भी पाई जाती है बहुत ज्यादा. एज इन इफ यू कुड गिव अस अ बिट ऑफ इनसाइट ओवर दैट.
I think digitalization से तो काम खराब ही हुआ है, because digitalization से it became Messi and Ronaldo, which was disgusting. That was the time when I backed out from having debates and discussions and talking about football anymore. You know, because I used to do that very regularly, like 6-7 years back. I used to go on TV and I used to speak about it as well. अब वही जो मेसी रोनाल्डो तो वो मजा खत्म हो गया, you know. As far as fans were concerned, fans were always there. जो लिवरपूल के थे, फिर वो थे जो बिल्कुल ही 80s से हैं, you know, या फिर कुछ नए भी थे. अब मैं अपना पर्सनल एक्सपीरियंस से कर देता हूँ कि I became a Liverpool fan when I read about Liverpool, when I understood what they stand about. I understood what Shankly did, what Paisley did. You know, मेरे बाप दादे लिवरपूल फैंस थे नहीं, you know, but I really got into it. It's that sort of a club. So it's not like कि मतलब कि हम लोगों ने बड़े बुरे टाइम में भी लिवरपूल को सपोर्ट किया हुआ है. What basically held us together was that Liverpool is a sort of a club के you have to be passionate. You cannot be like a normal Liverpool fan. I've not seen a casual Liverpool fan in my life, you know. And what we did was, all of these people, the structure, the hierarchy we're talking about, they all volunteer. You know, they never used to take any money. Nothing used to happen. अभी भी जब ये Ian Rush आया हुआ था, फिर जब ये Champions League final हमने कराया था, there were like 20 coordinators, you know, who are just doing it for the sake of doing it. And this is not happening now. It is it is happening for the past 7 years. People do it for the sake of it. Nobody takes anything out of it. And we know that we need to work slightly harder than other clubs, because we don't have that natural sort of flow of fans. But what that basically made us become was a cult. You know, a small cult के पता है क्या कि Pak Reds के जो 60-70 स्क्रीनिंग जो होनी है ना, वो क्रेजी स्क्रीनिंग है. उसका कंपैरिजन फिर उसमें नहीं है. फिर अगर एक बंदा वहाँ पे गाना गा रहा है तो फिर वो सारे 70 लोग वही गाना गा रहे हैं उसी तरीके से. यार
ट्रस्ट मी, तुम लोग की एक स्क्रीनिंग पे मैं आया हुआ हूँ, तुम लोग वाकई कल्ट हो. एज इन बड़ी कोई यानी कि खतरनाक किस्म की वहां पर तो मैं चुप, मैंने किसी को बताया नहीं था मैं यूनाइटेड फैन हूँ. मैं वो चीजें बेटर चुप ही रहो तो बेटर है लोग के आगे.
मैंने स्क्रीनशॉट ले लेता हूँ और फिर कोऑर्डिनेटर्स को भेज
देता हूँ. अच्छा, Nausherwan, what is your favorite Liverpool memory?
Yeah, it's actually a very recent memory. I was at Anfield when we defeated Barcelona 4-0. So I was there, you know, I was watching the game. And the beauty of that was not that I watched the 4-0. The beauty was that I watched the 3-0 in Barcelona also. So I saw the down, you know. पहले मैंने गया हुआ था, मैं बिल्कुल जब मेसी ने वो फ्री किक मारी थी ना, I was around there. मैं बार्सिलोना के होम फैन के साथ बैठा हुआ था. तो फिर वहां पर हमारे पे ये जो स्पेनिश पुलिस जरा वैसी ब्रिटिश फैंस के थोड़े अगेंस्ट होती है, तो हमारे पे थोड़ा अटैक भी हुआ वहां पर. तो एक आधा डंडा भी खा लिया था. तो 3-0 हार भी गए, डंडा भी खा लिया. उसके बाद I came to Liverpool and I watched the 4-0, which was absolutely amazing. It was brilliant. Absolutely.
100%, yeah, 100%. But you know, more than, you know, just being a cult of sorts, I feel like जो चीज हम लोग probably बड़े for granted लेते हैं, वो ये कि आप जैसे supporters clubs जो हैं और आपके जो bases हैं, ये fan bases हैं, उसकी वजह से, you know, एक जमाना था जब, you know, I remember I used to go to these clubs in Karachi. रैंडम छोटे छोटे क्लब्स होते थे, माइक्रो क्लब्स होते थे फॉर यू नो लर्निंग फुटबॉल एंड प्लेइंग इट. तो वहां पर जब भी आप जाते थे तो माँ बाप का सबसे बड़ा सवाल ये होता था कि यार फुटबॉल करके क्या कर दोगे, ऐसे क्रिकेट खेल के कुछ तो हो जाएगा. सो पॉइंट इज कि यू नो फैन बेसेस लाइक योर्स, उनके साथ भी इस स्पोर्ट को एक रिकग्निशन मिल रही है. अगर आप अभी भी लियारी जाएं या फिर किसी ऐसे इलाके में जाएं जहाँ पे फुटबॉल बहुत ज्यादा फॉलो होती है, आप देखेंगे कि यू नो पीपल हु डोंट इवन हैव दोज मींस टू प्ले फुटबॉल, दे आर मेकिंग डू विद व्हाटएवर दे हैव. And I think उनके लिए बड़ा एक हौसला अफजाई है ये कि कि आप जैसे लोग अभी भी ऐसे fan bases चला रहे हैं. But let's come down to probably the footballing side more, and let's go dive into core footballing. So उसके अंदर obviously now that the Premier League is also restarting, how do you see things going on? And the title race, obviously, there's no other contender next to Liverpool at the moment with the kind of lead that they already have. But post COVID, आप किस तरीके से देखते हैं? How would football be shaped as well?
Yeah, same thing. I'm facing in a more closer perspective in cricket because I am in PSL and Zalmi. Sports तो देखो यार हर जगह बिल्कुल hit हुई है. And कोई भी आपकी जो भी basically events industry है ना, that's been struck really bad. Wherever few people are getting together, it's going to become a problem. So and then when it comes to, because I've spoken to people in Premier League as well, a lot of clubs had issue with it as well, especially with the ones who were getting relegated. They did not want this to continue. They were like, yeah, these ko khatam karte, cancel and void karte. But there is so much that is involved, the money that is involved. Because it's not about कि Liverpool को title दे दें. It's about it's a Liverpool को title मिल रहा है, top 4 teams कौन सी जा रही हैं Champions League में, यूरोपा में कौन सी जा रही है, relegate कौन सी हो रही है, promote कौन सी हो रही है. So the ecosystem of Premier League is so big that you cannot just void a league. It's very, very difficult unless everybody's on the same page. Unfortunately, Premier League has so many big clubs that इतना आसान नहीं होता कि किसी को भी PSG को title पकड़ा दिया या Ajax को title पकड़ा दिया. It's not like that. There's so much money involved in it. So the football was supposed to happen regardless. वो होनी ही होनी. But yes, थोड़ा सा इसका backlash ये होगा कि the fans won't be there, वो feel नहीं आएगी. For Liverpool fans और ज़्यादा होगा क्योंकि हम लोग वैसे ही थोड़े पागल हैं. तो हम लोग करेंगे वो सारा celebrate.
I think but chances of winning against Everton, winning the title by winning against Everton, अगर वो हो जाता है तो I think it would be somewhat of a consolation for Liverpool fans, because अगर City हार जाता है and Liverpool जीत जाता है तो you win the title.
But more than that, I feel like, sorry मैं आपकी बात काट रहा हूँ, but more than that वो वाली बात आ जाती है कि Liverpool fans फिर भी as in comparison अगर मैं देखूँ, they're very concrete fans है, plastic fans बहुत कम है Liverpool के fan base में, to be very frank. And I feel like with football being played behind closed doors, as in वो जो fan following है वो एकदम से बनना शुरू होगी, because it's not going to be the same thing. It's not going to be the same trending topic, as a whole as well. People won't be rushing into, putting up statuses about it, because वही जो pumping adrenaline जो होता है वो सिर्फ I feel like सिर्फ जो sports से नहीं होता है, and I'm sure it's the same in cricket as well. कि it's more about कि जो आपका पूरा mob culture होता है, जो पूरा hooliganism होती है in the stadium as well. I mean, the chants लग रही होती हैं उस वक्त during the game. That all plays in the plays a part in the environment of the whole footballing scenario as well. So since क्योंकि वो अब नहीं होगी, तो I don't think as in इतना ज़्यादा as in do you see it being have such a big marketing gimmick attached to it as well, football in general.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, they could, at the end of the day, in the stadium, you used to fill in like 40,000-50,000 people. It used to have a viewership of around 400 to 500 million per game. So the viewership is going to be there, the interest is going to be there, the banter is going to be there. And अभी मैंने थोड़े दिनों पहले ही ना अपने कहीं पे पोस्ट किया था जब बॉस नाइट हुई ना in Madrid. So it was like a crazy boss night. All these people were singing together, and the funny thing was that Liverpool ने अभी Tottenham को हराया नहीं था. So trust me, the moment that they're going to win the league again after so many years, so the celebration is going to be there. The only reason why the interest level is so less at the moment is because it's not competitive right now. अगर यही मैच जैसे last season होता और City और Liverpool के बीच में 1 point होता ना, तो again you'll see the statuses as well, and you'll see the interest too. लेकिन वो अभी कम इसलिए हुआ because it is not at all competitive. It's just a matter of couple of games.
Agreed. So is Liverpool going for the treble? Not going for the treble?
Liverpool not going for the treble and losing out, the unbeatables tag as well. What effect did it have on you? They didn't really go for it.
Yes, as in
I'm like right now while talking to you, a couple of games, they're holding the Champions League, they're holding the World Club Championships as well, and the Super Cup. and they're going to win the Premier League. I really don't care about the Arsenal record, really. And I think that speaks for a lot of Liverpool fans when it comes down to it. At this moment, जो title था, वो तो हमें किसी तरह से भी मिल जाए. Goal difference से भी मिल जाए, we'll take it. Because वो एक किस्म का
बस वो
you need
चाहिए.
to get that.
नहीं यार, but Liverpool really deserves it this year, honestly speaking. मैं एक United fan होते हुए भी कहता हूँ यार ऐसे चलो.
Last year City did really well.
City played
last year. We lost by like 1 point, and then we went quite ahead in the Champions League also. तो हम लोग का मतलब कि वहाँ पे इतनी competitive football चल रही होती है Champions League में, then we're traveling and it's crazy game. And साथ में यहाँ पर भी 1 point से आप हारे हो City से. So I think even over there, because right now, you tell me City has such a big team. When have they scored a double? I'm talking a real double, which is Champions League and the Premier League. So they've struggled to do that because it's not easy. It's not like City is bad. They're one of the best teams Premier League.
They're one of the best teams, 100%.
But it's such a difficult thing to do. With 1 point, Liverpool almost achieved that. So I really thought that last year, we were really, really deserving. This was not a competition, no. This was just they just.
This one, it could have been easier for a treble, but you guys lost. You guys are almost out of the Champions League by losing to Atletico, and lost out in the FA Cup. I know the FA Cup was a real mess, but
yeah.
FA Cup
Especially, I think that moving forward, जब आप when you look at the Premier League at the moment, and COVID hitting the footballing world as well, and the global economy at large as well. जैसे आपने बोला कि अब because it's going to be played behind closed doors, so जो आपकी ticketing revenue थी वो भी कम हो जाएगी, and revenues from a lot of different areas आपकी कम हो जाएगी, as a club as well. So spending as a whole थोड़ी सी constrict हो जाएगी. That's something that you can also see in the case of Timo Werner as well. Timo was very excited to be joining Klopp at Liverpool, and really wanted to join the club as well. But then eventually is not as per rumors and reports, is not joining Liverpool and is looking set to join Chelsea instead. So how do you see that the loss of Timo Werner? And Timo Werner is going to another club in the Premier League only, hence making Chelsea an opposition side, a little more stronger and competitive against, because is also, I think, if you look at United, you look at Chelsea, you look at Arsenal, all of these clubs of the top flight, they weren't possibly in their best particular forms or had the best particular squads or managers to take them forward as well. But now that things are boiling up and spending bhi actually kam ho gayi hai, so managing that quality in a club becomes harder and harder every day. How do you see Liverpool coping up with that? How do you see Timo Werner probably choosing on to going towards Chelsea rather than Liverpool playing out for next season for the Reds, obviously. So how do you see that?
I think as far as I don't think there's anything to do with COVID and Timo Werner. As far as the ticketing is concerned, the sort of money that you earn from the broadcasting rights is the biggest pie that a club gets. So they'll be getting that money. Ticketing would be is a lesser of that one. So it's mostly broadcasting and then merchandise, and then comes down to ticketing. So wo inko itna massive hit nahi pada. I think they don't wanted. They never went for the player because they thought to get into that bidding war was not important. I think the downfall of United was the time when they went for Falcao and Di Maria. So everything that Ferguson had built, basically they ruined it. They made players and individuals bigger than the club that it is. Alex Sanchez gets paid like shitload of money. I really don't know what the real amount is, but I know that Alex Sanchez was getting paid more than who's that guy, Kevin De Bruyne. He was getting paid more than Van Dijk. And what does he do for United? So right now I was reading that Timo Werner is settling 200,000 pounds a week.
200,000 a week. 200,000.
Now, what would that do to a team which are the world champions, European champions, and about to be a Premier League champion? Okay, this kid from somewhere just walks in and is getting more money than Salah, Van Dijk, Sadio Mane, Bobby Firmino, Trent Alexander-Arnold, all of them. it messes up that thing. So right now, I don't think Liverpool needs to win these small battles because they're winning the war, so they
But
are the ultimate.
cutting you in between though, like the transfer, he settled on 200,000 a week only because obviously when a player,
Yeah,
one of his major
yeah,
priorities was playing in the Champions League, and it's already very
yeah,
uncertain when you're joining a club like Chelsea that lies fourth, but has a lot of competition on that fourth position as well, in the
yeah,
league at the moment. The news is very tight for
yeah,
them. A point
yeah,
is, that 200,000 came into, possibly came into being because of, the current situation at Chelsea and the current proposition he had at Chelsea. But, a player willing enough to
yeah,
going to,
yeah,
Liverpool and actually joining Jurgen Klopp, because Jurgen Klopp in himself is very famous when it comes to German
yeah,
talent as well, because, he was at Borussia
yeah,
Dortmund. He has a reputation there.
yeah,
Then eventually came into Liverpool, and now that he's making a success story out of this club as well, more and
yeah,
more players want to play with him, and the general feel about the manager at the club is also very positive, to be very frank.
hmm,
So
yeah,
he was possibly wanting to play with Jurgen Klopp as well. So I'm guessing that in this particular case, Liverpool had more of a
yeah,
bargaining power on their side, rather than probably Chelsea had when they were negotiating with Timo Werner as well.
yeah,
So,
yeah,
and just my point, the point of me saying that ticketing sales is jari, so there are a lot of
yeah,
different revenues that are coming in. Merchandising भी हो गई, so और चीजें हो गई आपकी, obviously,
yeah,
जो इस वक्त cut down हो रही हैं COVID से, right? And जो because एक general level पे आपकी जो global economy है, that is decreasing in size as well. So, I guess eventually when you talk about this season, yes, it doesn't have an impact on this season.
yeah,
But my question
yeah,
is that, how do you see the next season and maintaining this quality that Liverpool already has, in this
yeah,
constricted
yeah,
tightening of the news in terms of their revenues as well? How do you see that
yeah,
happening? As in, because if you look at United is bringing in
yeah,
reinforcements as well. They've brought in Bruno
yeah,
Fernandes. They're looking to bring in different क्या कहते हैं, reinforcements in their final third, in their defensive line, in their midfield as well. In fact, Jimenez is being very strongly linked with United these days, as a possible recruit for them as well. फिर आप देखते हैं
yeah,
Chelsea की side पे Timo Werner आ गया है. They have another player from Ajax coming in as well in their final third. So my point is that
yeah,
every club at the moment is bringing in reinforcements, and it only seems like
yeah,
next season is going to be a
yeah,
bit a lot more tighter in terms of the
Comparative.
competition level, as opposed to what this season was. So my
right,
point is,
yeah,
how do you see that the succession going on in terms of the quality that Jurgen Klopp has very rightfully developed
yeah,
and
yeah,
been able to put forth on the field?
yeah. It's again, the sort of team that he's built, the average age is also very young, and then making people like, chalo theek hai, Van Dijk, you paid for that, Alisson, you paid for it. Somebody like a Robinson or a Trent Arnold, even a Wijnaldum, like making these players who we thought, chalo theek hai, they're squad players, into like world beaters. I really think like there is such blind trust, and that is why I'm saying that it was never about whether we could afford Werner or not. The sort of trust that the fans have, the ownership have in Klopp right now, he could put his hand on anything or anybody, the
Hmm.
club will back him. Obviously, like it's unheard of what he's done.
Hmm.
City spending more than a government's budget on defense.
Yeah,
They spent on their
100%,
transfers. So that's
100%. Yeah.
ridiculous. And and the gap between those two clubs is so huge. It is
Hmm.
absolutely ridiculous. So why would an owner not splash in 50 mil for
Hmm.
Timo Werner if they spent around 60 for Keita? Of course they will.
Hmm.
But it's probably because you analyze each and everything, the team chemistry, the sort of money that we're talking about, whether he's going to get a chance in starting 11 or not. Whether he's going to own that place. Are we keeping Sadio Mane is an offer coming from Real Madrid or not? All of these things. So I believe that, us and even people around Twitter and this and that, when they're talking about, okay, he's coming, he's not coming, you have to understand, these are like $1 million investments, these are assets. You do not just find out कि अच्छा
Agreed.
चलो ठीक है, मेरा फुप्पा है, वो जानता है उसको, वो वहाँ पे काम करता है, वो आज उसके साथ काम कर रहा था, तो this guy is linked. That's why I'm so anti
Yeah,
Twitter and
100%.
everything.
FIFA तो है नहीं
You know,
ये.
so yeah, so
सही बात है.
I know a gentleman who works as a doctor in the Premier League, and he was like, yeah, when he, around the transfer seasons, you know, paparazzis used to follow him, so he used to check into a different hotel and go to do a medical. You know, now this is how a doctor is being followed. So imagine,
I'm
कि
sure,
इतना
man.
आराम से तो नहीं होती. So that's basically what it is. So I personally believe that yes, I would want any player to come in who will add value to him. But if the ownership, the scouts, and the manager, first of all, does not find it fitting, I swear to God, I'm more than happy to let go any player.
Nausherwan, I would like to add as well, because I think the problem is media ने hype ज़्यादा की थी, just because Klopp and Werner had this video conversation, so everyone was like, Klopp wants him, बात होगी उससे. I think Werner was more desperate for the move, and there was no formal offer made by Liverpool. Klopp denied it a month or 2 months back as well, कि we're not going for a striker at the moment. But एक और बात ये कि there's a deal with Nike about to happen before COVID. I remember I read somewhere that Nike will will provide 200 million on transfers, and they want to increase the shirt supplies, and they want to add LeBron James, Serena Williams, and the rapper Drake. कि Liverpool को ज़्यादा commercial बनाए. So do you think कि अभी भी there is a chance कि पैसे आएंगे and Liverpool will go for transfers?
Yes, because देखो Liverpool वाली जो Nike वाली move है ना, that is huge. Now that is basically when you're all of a sudden in Real Madrid and United and Barcelona category commercial. Because the thing is that New Balance, you have to understand, was Warrior before, and the problem with them, and this is जो आप वो Drake वाली बात कर रहे हो ना, this is basically how the Liverpool commercial and legal team fought their case against New Balance, because they had the first right to refusal. अब उसमें ये हुआ था कि उनने कहा था कि यार हम लोग आपको नाइकी जितने भी पैसे दे रहे हैं, हम उतने पैसे मैच कर देते हुए उनके कॉन्ट्रैक्ट के अंदर है, लेकिन कुछ चीजें होती है जिसको आप इवैल्यूएट या मोनेटाइज नहीं कर सकते. लाइक फॉर एग्जांपल, if Serena Williams or Drake is endorsing you, you cannot really exactly put a value to it, because it has a bigger impact. So that is basically the sort of a loophole that the club used to move ahead. I don't even know if I should be saying this or not, but this is purely on personal level I'm saying. Okay, that is how basically they made that case happen. Secondly, जो Liverpool और Nike की deal है ना, it's not one amount, it is also on the royalty of every shirt sold. So because New Balance, जैसे पाकिस्तान में New Balance नहीं है, इसी तरह वो काफी मुल्कों में नहीं है, तो at least 70% more outlets will be selling Liverpool shirts, because Liverpool has a huge following. So on every shirt sold, Liverpool is earning money. So maybe you won't see the Nike money today, but once the season ends, क्योंकि याद है आपको जब goalkeeper की hit थी, my fiance was coming from Dubai, even she was trying to get me one, तो उसको भी नहीं मिल रही थी. It was sold out across the world.
It's pretty aggressive.
एक पूरी black shirt आई थी, वो भी कहीं नहीं मिल रही थी. Now that's the thing. So because Liverpool can achieve this, कि यार एक shirt ही पूरी दुनिया में नहीं मिल रही, लेकिन आपका एक किस्म का outlets और आपका distribution channel हो Nike जैसा, then those numbers are ridiculous numbers. Then those numbers are not going to be matched. So it's not like they're going to give you 70 mil, but you're going to get a lot of money through the revenue.
Agreed.
And what are your expectations for the next season? As Dayan pointed out, next season
actually before that, I'm really sorry, but before that, although हमने ये तो बात कर ली, we've talked about Timo Werner not joining Liverpool and going to Chelsea and all of that jazz. But then, obviously you guys have been following the player as well, and the player has been very, has been seeking Champions League football for a while now, and this was his main priority as well. Going into Chelsea, do you think that Chelsea is a very certain place, or for him to land and to get Champions League football as well? Do you think that's going to be a good decision for him as well? As a player, for him.
From a like a third person, I actually call myself not a footballing expert, but a Liverpool expert, because I only concentrate on Liverpool. I don't watch much football, but to be very honest, I think that if you take out Pogba, or if you take out Mata, or you take out any of the players who are sort of struggling in the top four right now, and you put them in Liverpool, they'll all look world class. So the thing is that because Liverpool right now is playing like a machine, I think that is something what Mbappe said as well. Because everything is so, it's like a harmony, it's like an orchestra. So you put in anybody, he will look good. Wijnaldum right now looks world class to me. You know what I mean? I think he'll struggle at United. I think he'll struggle at Chelsea. Similarly, I think for Werner, it would have been an absolutely brilliant opportunity to come in Liverpool and play over here because everything that is happening around him is world class. Chelsea is sort of building up. They don't really know what's going to happen. They're building up a team. Once they get developed, he might do well. Or maybe he'll completely stand out, but that depends on him really.
But
but
even
you can't really predict.
जैसे आपने वो सिस्टम की बात की, Chelsea's never really had a very sustainable system either. They're always changing. There's always transition when you look at Chelsea. Every 2 years or 3 years down the road, they always change a manager. They always change players very frequently as well. So I guess you're right that that kind of sustainability you would have gotten from Liverpool. More so than probably what he's going to get from Chelsea or even United at this point, because United is also in a transitionary period as well. So coming down to our last question actually, because my other time nahi bacha hai. What do you expect from the next season? Who do you think are going to be the title contenders? Do you think this season maybe will Chelsea be able to probably keep its fourth position, or will be taken over by some other club like Tottenham or United? And will the Champions League ban that City currently has, will that be overturned or not? How do you see the next season rolling out?
Yeah, for Premier League, so I'll always rate City and Liverpool for quite a while. Okay? And I'll rate them for the title contenders for the next 2-3 years. I don't know how City is going to come out, especially with Guardiola's mother passing away as well, and the Champions League ban. I don't know if he's going to stay there or not, but he is extremely important for
100%
to be there and to make sure that Liverpool's dominance is not going to be for the 5-6 years to come. Because the only person or the only team that I see right now is Guardiola and City, which is able to break what Liverpool is doing, And but as far as the other teams are concerned, I'm excited to see what Mourinho does with Spurs. It's an interesting combination, and I'm excited to see that.
100%, 100%.
Maybe they'll break into the top 3.
100%. Okay, go for it.
Nausherwan, so what do you think is the future of football in Pakistan? मतलब और commercialism बढ़ रही है. We're all at home. We need some entertainment. Football is coming back. तो क्या आपको future नजर आता है?
And how do you see fan bases? Exactly. How do you see fan bases like ours and yours? Probably even collaborating and developing this space as a whole as well.
Yeah, हम लोग like I think कि जो हमारी supporters branches हैं, we can work together. अभी हम लोगों ने Pak Reds ने FIFA matches किए इंडिया की Liverpool fans के साथ. We can maybe try to do it among each other. Personally, we were against of having like joint screenings. I think we just did a couple with Arsenal, but that was for other reasons. I think boys get hyped up and everything, and I don't think हमें इस तरह का करना चाहिए. As far as Pakistan में football का future is very weak. I personally saw how Ian Rush was here, the way he was guided. उसको वही उसी तरीके से जो typical हमारा गवर्नमेंट के जो लोग होते हैं इधर उधर करी जा रहे थे, खवार कर रहे थे बेचारे को. हालांकि अगर इयन रश जैसा बंदा आया हुआ, आप उसको कितना अच्छा यूटिलाइज कर सकते हो.
बिल्कुल.
फिर काफी इतने ज्यादा लोग हैं जिनको मैं पर्सनली जानता हूँ. मैं कुछ नाम नहीं ले सकता बिकॉज मेरा लाइक आई नो दैट फॉर वर्क जो बाहर बैठे हुए और यहाँ पर सपोर्ट करना चाह रहे हैं स्पोर्ट्स को, फुटबॉल को, क्रिकेट को, मेडिसिन, स्पोर्ट्स मेडिसिन के अंदर, स्पोर्ट्स उसके अंदर, क्या कहते हैं, एजुकेशन के अंदर, even on the finances side, लेकिन यहाँ पर लोगों को रोक दिया जाता है. So I think it has to be, it's high time we have a sportsman as a prime minister. He looks into the fact that, okay, so this is $1 million industry.
100%.
And I think the interesting part is कि आपका एक भी ऐसा लड़का आ जाए यहाँ से जो प्रीमियर लीग का कॉन्ट्रैक्ट जीत जाए या कोई प्रीमियर लीग क्लब के लिए खेल ले या किसी जर्मन बुंडेसलीगा के लिए खेल ले, कहीं भी खेल ले, that'll be more than the entire wage sheet of your A contract जो cricketers.
बिल्कुल
So it's about taking that
बिल्कुल
one guy. जैसे वो एक बच्चा है जिसने Tekken में खेला है, he's made a couple of $1 million now.
100%
He's just
100%.
a player on Tekken. So it's just about investing in resources, investing in this track, getting the right sort of people, which is really important. Unfortunately, यहाँ पर सारे sports इदारों में जाएं तो retired ये, retired वो, retired ये. तो अगर वो retire है तो
बड़ा
retire हो
सेंसिटिव
जाए.
टॉपिक है वैसे ये छूने को
I know. अब देखी जाएगी, अब बोल लेते हैं जैसे कि 7-8 साल से नीचे ही जाते हुए देखे ना स्पोर्ट्स को.
बिल्कुल
तो मतलब
बिल्कुल
कि गेट द राइट सॉर्ट ऑफ पीपल इन्वॉल्वड इन राइट सॉर्ट ऑफ प्लेसेस. अब मैं जब ज़ल्मी में आया था यार, तो मतलब कि व्हेन आई मेट जावेद अफरीदी, द आइडिया वाज कि यार ओके, यू नो व्हाट, यू हैव दैट एक्सपोजर ओवर देयर, यू हैव दैट एक्सपोजर हियर, दिस इज अ प्लेटफॉर्म, डू व्हाट यू वांट. अब मेरा एक पश्तो टीम है जिसको मैं रिप्रेजेंट करता हूँ, और उसका मैंने जो एक एंथम बनाया वो हिप हॉप रैप है. So I just gave it a very, a global feel to it. So that's what you have to do. You need to create entities and spots as brands. So all of a sudden, अगर कोई हम लाहौर की फुटबॉल टीम बनाते हैं, उसको ब्रांड बनाने के लिए हमें उसके पीछे कोई लोग चाहिए. कराची में कोई फुटबॉल टीम बनाते हैं, कराची यूनाइटेड है, कराची यूनाइटेड के पीछे हमें कुछ ऐसे लोग चाहिए जो कराची यूनाइटेड को ब्रांड बनाए कि उसकी फैन फॉलोइंग क्रिएट हो. नॉट लाइक कि लोग उसको फॉर चैरिटी शेयर करें या लाइक करें. So that is basically what you need to develop. You need to create those rivalries, which now you can see in PSL. कि जब कराची और लाहौर का मैच हो रहा था तो लोग देख रहे होते हैं. Zalmi क्वेटा का मैच हो रहा था, लोग देख रहे होते हैं. You create that sort of an atmosphere industry in football, and it will grow as well.
Agreed, 100%, 100% right. Definitely correct. Chale, then I guess this is where we're gonna call it a day, because obviously we're out of time as well. So it was lovely having you, Nausherwan. It was a very insightful session. In fact, I'm sure हमारी जो audience भी होगी वो हम लोग की शक्लें देख के थक चुकी होगी. तो आप बड़ी एक pleasant entry होंगे. So we're really thankful for you to to have taken out time for this session and honoring us with your presence as well. So let's call it a day. Let's call it a day then. Okay then. I guess please share, like, and subscribe our channel. And let us know what you think about this particular session that we've had with Nausherwan. And yes, anything else, guys? Nausherwan, if you would want to say goodbye to everyone.
No, thank you and congratulations. You guys are doing a really good show, and I hope I get to talk to you guys again soon. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
All right. Bye-bye.
Allah Hafiz.
Allah Hafiz.